I'm back, baby. Nothing like a good old-fashioned Lou J right before you start a video. Nothing wrong with that one, and probably like 25 times during the video. Nothing I can do about that one. Damn post-nasal post-nasal drip down my throat. Nothing I can do about that one. It's like when I irk it in a hot girl's throat. So, anyway. So I'll be doing another video today on solo shuffle cues. And I'm gonna go over positioning. I'm gonna go over how my teammates could play and what they could do better, and what I could do better. There's nothing I could do better on the best Paladin game. And any mistakes that were made the game, and point them out. So maybe you Peziantes, when you're playing, can get a little bit better at the game. At my job, apparently some psycho banshee witch came over 3 different times, started harassing us. And because apparently we stole their electricity like 2 months ago, and then of course I couldn't work for 2 months because the app wasn't working. And then when I got back that day, the app wasn't working again. But anyway, so the lady complained to the manager and got us kicked out of the store. But it's not like we can make any sales anyways because the app didn't work. So I'm like, okay, she got us kicked out of the store. We couldn't work anyway, so oh well. I was happy about it. Dude, but that lady she was an evil little witch. She had nothing better to do besides to sit there, and she even tried to like ruin some of my other sales. She came up to this other lady that I was making a sale to, and the app for some reason was working that sale. And of course, and the lady comes over and starts, Don't you ever buy this. This is the worst product, blah, blah, blah. It started screeching like a banshee in the middle of the store. Dude, she's so lucky an anvil didn't just drop out of the sky on her tubby bald head, man. Unbelievable. I cursed that woman's disgusting grave. But anyway, back to the video. So I'm not sure when I'll be working again. Even though that's not even considered a job, seeing as I can't even, it's the biggest joke. The biggest joke in life. So let's start the game now. We're playing Windwalker DK versus Aflock Warrior Disc Priest. And obviously Windwalker DK should win, I think, versus an Aflock. Especially, I don't know, this map is really annoying for an H-Pal though. This map is one of the worst maps for an H-Pal and one of the best maps for a Disc Priest though. Because the Disc Priest can use the middle pillar so well, and an H-Pal, it's so hard for an H-Pal to line of sight and get heals out on this pillar. Because you have to cast.
That's his pitch warrior.
So, starting on this tubby lock, and make sure they both give them freedoms. Normally I'll save one freedom for myself, but I really want them to be able to get on this warlock. And when I played my monk, I noticed how annoying it is when I don't have a freedom. So I start giving them more, even on like little slows. Because a lot of the times if they get just like Aflock slowed, it's only like a 30% slow, I think. It might actually be more. But then I'm like, I don't really want to freedom him on that slow. But it's good to freedom him, especially if you have 2 freedoms. Just throw out one of them. And then position to where the Aflock, his main goal is to get triple dots out. Make it as hard for him as possible to get those triple dots out. And he'll fall behind if you do that. So it's really good to try to line of sight as much as possible, because it's annoying as hell as any DPS class. If you want to get CC on the healer, or you want to get dots on the healer, or whatever it is, if that healer is trying to make it as hard as they can to line of sight you, it will be the most annoying thing. You'll want to smash your keyboard. Yep.
3-2.
So right now, my goal is to just get Tyra's Deliverance off while line of sighting. And now he wants to get dots on me here. He probably wants to Stormbolt me soon. And the Disc Priest is going to want to come fear me, but he's not going to want to right now because we have a lot of pressure. So he had to PS and stuff. So once I come in for the Hodge, he'll try to fear me. But that's but I already used my sack, so I won't be able to sack it. So right now I'm trying to fake CS, so I fake the CS there. So since I fake the CS, I can dispel his UA for free without getting the 4-second silence. It was really good. That puts us really far ahead. I also got to pay attention to if he resummons another pet. But he has like Ring of Peace up and stuff, so he's probably not going to get a pet up because it's going to knock him like 2 times. And normally if Lock's going to resummon his pet, he's going to do it instantly to try to CS if he's a good player.
He might take out another pet. I'm trying to watch if he takes out another pet and re-CS.
Yeah, because right now, if I get CS right now, we basically just lose the game. Basically, if we get CS right now, they're going to get every single CD in the entire game. So if I get CS right there, they'll force every CD from my Windwalker DK, put us so far behind, and we'll automatically lose the game. But since I faked it, it's crazy how I faked it and we're still kind of falling behind. So my goal now is to push in for CC on the healer. Once because he's about to be coming off DR here. His blind DR is about to be coming off. I'm not sure what other DR. Right now Gladius is bugged too, so there's a lot of annoying stuff going on. So sometimes it shows five things. I might make this smaller too. This is kind of annoying. So my goal is to push in for CC soon after I top us.
Topping him here, denouncing this guy. I want to go CC the priest on his rapture shields, but it's kind of too hard for me.
Whenever you can get denounces out as a pally, it's really good too. Better to denounce the warrior, but it's better to fake the first spell reflect by denouncing the warlock. But he's probably not going to spell reflect either because these warriors aren't good enough to like even know you're spell reflecting them a lot of the time. So most of the time you don't have to fake it, and sometimes you're just faking yourself to death. It's already so hard to get a denounce off. The only time the warrior's really going to spell reflect is when like he's obviously the target that's going to get denounced. Like if he's like running at you and you're denouncing only him, you know.
For me to get there right now. Topping us all, topping him.
So
topping him.
Right now, when he doesn't have CS for 5 seconds, it's better to get my Hand of Divinity up now and extend my Tire's Deliverance for as long as I can. Because if I can't get back to the pillar, then I'm going to have to fake a CS again. And I might not be able to fake a CS fast enough to be able to heal. So it's better to get that up now, extend my Tire's Deliverance before I push in and put myself behind. Because whenever I push in, I'm going to be putting myself behind. Right now, I bait the fade. That means I'll get a full Hodge into a full blind.
Fade out a full Hodge into a full blind. We can win the game right here.
Me being able to get this forces out his trinket immediately, and we can just automatically win the game. Unfortunately, my dog should monk incaps on top of my blind, which really sucks.
Blind him here. He's gonna, we overlapped. God damn it! Topping him here, I can insta-kick.
Which he should have never done that because I'm literally sitting here clearly and obviously going to CC off this. So he incaps on top of my blind. This sucks so much too because we would have got so much pressure. Probably just win the game here. We probably do just win the game here. If he incaps, see my blind still have 2 more seconds on it. Then we would have had a 4-second incap. We just win the game right here. But of course the Windwalker incaps on top of it, and then we don't silence off it, which is annoying.
This guy double string glare here, double string glare on everybody.
And I get a double string glare on the Warlock in the Disc Priest. Obviously, it's better to string glare the Warrior in the lock, but at that point, since Searing Glare is the worst talent in the entire game, it doesn't go. It only goes in front of you, and I only have a certain amount of time to actually be able to CS. I mean, to be able to use Searing Glare before my bubble falls, then I can have to fake CS again. So I end up having to just go for it on the lock of the Priest. It's not the worst thing. It's pretty good since the lock is already under a lot of pressure and doesn't have dots out on anybody, so it's going to put him farther and farther behind.
They're giving this guy on the Healable Dam, topping like that's annoying.
I got fear there. We should have obviously kicked that because there's nothing I could have done. I was just running back to the pillar. And in this positioning, it's annoying because I don't really want to go back to right here because then the Warrior's going to be able to fear me, stormbolt me, do anything. And I would have to run over here, and it would take me longer to get there. So I run over here to the boxes, and I get feared while this is happening. We should have kick here. There's no way we shouldn't have kick here. So I get feared for free, which is really annoying. I still have 2 bobs, though, so I'm not too worried, and they've already used all their CDs. So in this position, we're 1,000 times ahead of them, even though I had to use my trinket there, which sucks. This lock is 30% health. Priest has absolutely no cooldowns. But, of course, he has Ultimate Penance, which ends up topping the Warlock, which is disgusting. His Ultimate Penance, this is the most broken ability in the entire game. He's able to top him with the Ultimate Penance, which in this position, if we didn't let that Ultimate Penance go off, he's 100% dead. There's no way he can recover.
I mean, this is really bad now. Topping here.
So I have to fake CS again here.
We're in use trouble, though.
But if I can't fake CS the first cast, I have to go for a Dispel and throw a big damn judge during the Dispel. The best thing I can do right now is negating damage. Because if I can't fake the CS fast enough to heal, then we just lose.
I want to wait till Colossal Smash to bop in, though.
So what I really want to do here, I have to wait until the Warrior commits cooldowns to be able to Colossal Smash. And I was going to sack this Fear, but I'm like, I don't want to sack a DR Fear. So I didn't want to use sack until he actually pops cooldowns. But it's kind of annoying because then I end up having a sack because he coils me off the Fear, which really sucks. And you're not really expecting that. It's just a random... they don't usually use coil on the healer like that as an AF-lock, but it's really annoying.
Smash, gonna fear me again. It's DR. I should have sacked it though. Either way, big damn. I'm gonna sack now.
So like I said, I was not gonna sack the fear because it was DR, but then I'm like we're gonna fall too far behind, but then I get coiled, which is really annoying and unlucky.
He's not really taking that much damage. I'm not sure. Topping him here. I'll sack him now. I should have bopped him instead of sacking him.
So unfortunately, I sacked him at the exact same moment that a Colossal Smash went off. So now I don't want to overlap bop and sack. And I'd much rather have just bopped him there because Colossal Smash is way better to bop and sharpen. So it kind of puts me behind that I sacked instead of bopped. but not much I could have done about it since I used the exact same global. It's just unlucky and disgusting. And that's a lot of these solo shuffle games. It's pure luck.
CS. Doesn't use CS.
CS again. That means I can dispel.
That's so good for us, BM. Daybreak.
I can get a double searing glare off in 5 seconds here.
Double searing glare soon. He didn't take out a repat.
So in this situation, we're so far ahead, and there's no possible way we should lose the game. He's 18% health. I still have 2 bops, and I'm about to bop both my DPS. There's absolutely no way we should lose here. I don't know how this Windwalker doesn't have any cooldowns. He's the worst player to ever live. But what do you expect from a bald, tubby, disgusting dwarf monk who's stubby beyond belief and has a pointy, saggy nipples, greasy little latte-licious, lactating, greasy little fucking Laura Ingalls loving, toot de la fruit, lackadaisical gremlin, little fucking farting swine. So of course he doesn't pop a single cooldown when we lose somehow.
Okay.
So look at this. He dispels himself. He kills himself with a UA dispel. He actually kills himself with a UA dispel by diffusing there. Unbelievable. All he had to do was nothing. Karma, any other cooldown, he diffuses and kills himself there from 40% health. Brain damage beyond belief. He didn't have to use anything. I'm coming out of the fear in less than 1 second. He's in a bop. He's not going to die from UA lock dots from 40% in 1 second. And for no reason, he diffuses and kills himself. It's pure brain damage of the highest level. Useless trash. He has porked this entire time. I've kept him offensive this entire time. This lock should be so beyond dead, it's a joke. I played this game absolutely perfectly the entire game. But what do you get when you play with the demented self-play dogshit dwarf monk? You die from 40% health when the lock is 10% health because your dogshit monk kills himself. The highest level of self-play to ever exist, you have to practice being this bad. So of course the Maestro is insanely mad, and of course curses his grave. I curse your grave. I curse your. And I curse him to the absolute chasms of Khazad-dûm and the fiery pits of hell itself. This person should be locked up in a fucking cell for the rest of his worthless life and sucking the juice from a rotten communist potato in Siberia.
He died through bop instantly, randomly. Oh my god, that's the freest win you could ever get as a pally too. Dude, how?
Because Windwalker DK should never lose to Aflock with a Disc Priest. It just never should lose. And obviously, we weren't going to lose. The game was 100% over. He had bop on him. The Disc Priest would have never been able to purge it. I was coming out of CC in 1 second. The game was 100% over. I had a Searing Glare. They had no CS. The game was over. All he had to do was not kill himself with a thing. And this is what happens in Solo Shuffle. You'll win the entire game as a Paladin, right? Because, well, you won't because you're terrible. But I'm talking to you guys, chat. But I will. I'll win the entire game, right? We won the entire game. The game is over. Then the people on my team literally hard throw as much as possible. It's unreal. So let's go into the next game. Next game, we're playing Aflock DK. Windwalker Warrior should destroy Aflock DK, especially with a priest, because he can just sit there and heal from the pillar.
Shit.
It's a joke for him. Oh, my Chikiona's coming right now, I think.
Dude.
Legendary. This guy is
Dude, I played that so good and it doesn't matter. I fucking immune the Stormbolt, take every kick, outplay him in every scenario. It doesn't matter in the slightest bit.
Yeah, and he threw the Stormbolt at the same time that I got precog too, which is so good for us.
We ain't capped on top of blinds. Would have won the game right there. What a fucking joke. He's gonna rob me in the room if I stay in this fucking room. He's probably gonna rob me.
This is the worst map. Like I said, this is the absolute worst map in the entire game for an H-Pal. You can get fucked in so many ways as an H-Pal on this map.
Double Searing Glare there. Double Searing Glare here. Shit.
So right now, I want to get a double Searing Glare because they popped all their CDs. So I sack him because if I don't sack him, I'm going to get incapped into a fear as I come in. If that happens, we basically just automatically lose the game because then I got to trinket and then I got to sack anyway. And that's the worst thing in the world. I don't want to have to pair my trinket with my sack. I want to sack first, then trinket when the priest comes over to fear me after that to put the priest in a bad position on top of not overlapping my CDs. So right now he barriers himself. This guy is a backpedaling inbred mongrel, by the way. He's a literal backpedaling inbred mongrel, and he's still able to somehow win a single game. He's the worst priest in the entire game, but it doesn't matter because as priest, it takes absolutely zero skill, and you can play it while you're in a coma. A Dung Roach, a Roadrunner could play this. Wily Coyote could play this. Pinhead Larry could play this class. So he buries himself. Can you imagine if I was playing Paladin and I bopped myself when they're on the Warlock? We'd automatically lose the game. So his biggest cooldown gets wasted. The lock really just needs to port here. But I'm going for a Searing Glare on all their cooldowns, which is the best thing I can do after I sack.
Oh my god,
But
I just wasted it.
I ended up having to stop it stop the searing glare because in the 0.1 second it takes to get searing glare off, they roll out of my line of sight, which is so annoying. So that puts me behind. I have to go cast it again now. And now, of course, the monk, before I could even get the searing glare off again, he's able to roll through it, even though he's right in front of me. He somehow doesn't get it on him. So then I have to waste searing glare, even though I got on the warrior, but the warrior's not even connecting yet. Obviously, he's blade storming on the DK a little bit, doing a little bit of cleave damage or whatever, but what I want to do is searing glare them when they get to the warlock. So my searing glare gets fucked because he ports, of course, the worst port of all time. He should have ported before that, but then he wastes port after I actually need to get my searing glare. I would have got a double searing glare there, and it would have been insane for us. But so I end up wasting my searing glare, even though it does hit the warrior, which sucks a lot, because searing glare versus this is actually really good.
Didn't even hit this guy. He's gonna trigger
So
that
now, right now, I want to make sure the monk has the most annoying time trying to get back to my warlock. Any damage that I can negate while they're popping all their CDs is the best thing in the world. Because their CDs, every global that they hit is like 50% of his health during their CDs. Like his Rising Sun kick will hit for like 40% of the guy's health, 50% of the guy's health. His Fist of Fury will hit for like 100% of the guy's health. So every tick will hit for like 20%. So in the warrior, every global will be like 20, 30% during his cooldowns. So I got to make sure to just negate the damage because I don't want to use a bop here because they have no Colossal Smash. They have no actual cooldowns up besides for like Windwalker cooldowns. So I got to make sure, be really careful not to bop here.
Port hasn't ported the entire game. I'm gonna wings here. Toppy, he needed a port here, but he doesn't port.
He already ported and wasted it. So I end up having a bubble because I know if I trinket that, I know if I trinket that, I'm gonna get feared of my trinket immediately. So I bubbled and he feared into it, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, insta kick him here. Then I was gonna be he yells topping. I could rep him here. He's standing next to me so I can get a fear. This is annoying as fuck.
So I bait out the fade again, and unfortunately I get feared. I was trying to go to gateway, but I couldn't get there fast enough. And even if I went to gateway, I still would have got feared. So now he's probably going to have to wall, or I'm going to trinket here, obviously, because I saved my trinket for this time.
It's fucked, he just gets a fear from...
So, and I'm going to bop since it's Colossal Smash now, so I'm probably going to bop here. Yeah, I bopped him. He worst wall of all time. Walls on top of my bop, which is unbelievably bad. And now, since this guy already used Fade, and he's literally a backpedaling inbred, I don't think he's going to use Death, because he's literally the most lowest IQ of a negative dung roach, Amazon guppy sperm. So I rep him, and I don't think he's gonna death.
He just walled on top of
because I just went for this rep right, and he didn't death it. I went to 99%, and he didn't death it. So I'm like, this priest doesn't have death on his bars because he buried himself. He just PS'd himself when no one's on him. He's the worst player to ever live. He's not gonna thing a rep. And I got feared at the very end of the rep cast. So I'm like, he's not going to go for the death.
Oh, bro! Now we just lose because of that. He has to death this. He's too dumb to death. Yeah, no, he actually does.
So he actually gets so insanely lucky. He ends up deathing the rep, even though I just casted a rep till 99% and he didn't do it. And he's literally a backpedaling inbred, which sucks. And I did have to bop before Karma, which sucks, but it was on the Colossal Smash, but so it's not the worst thing. It's a good bop, but it's annoying that he walled on top of my bop, so we're in huge trouble now. So I'm praying right now. I have my sack back in 8 seconds. They can kill my Warlock right now. I don't have sack. I don't have bop. I don't have any damage reduction cooldowns. He needs to port and kite here really bad.
Now he just Karma's when we lose the game. Now we lost the game.
So he does port here, which is good, and he has Dark Pact back. So that's going to be enough for me to get my sack and Aura Mastery back.
He rolls in. I'll trinket this though probably. And I'll the trinket.
I know the monk's going to trinket here, and it's better for me to hodge the monk here than the priest because the priest has trinket anyways. And it's better for me to, every global that the monk can't do damage here, as globals I get all my CDs back, and they're all 30% health anyways, so we're going to win regardless. So I have to just make sure to negate the damage. I have Searing Glare and I have Sack and Bop back, so we should be completely fine.
I have Searing Glare in a second. I really need to get this off when they reconnect. He's going to Ultimate Penance, triple Searing Glare here, really good for us.
So this triple Searing Glare is going to put us insanely far ahead. Triple Searing Glare, they can't do any damage. That means I can save my Bop and my Sack.
That'll keep us alive for now. There you are, Faith here. Spend me on Scott Shields. I can sack him after that. I'm going to sack him now, probably pre-sack before I get in cap.
So now the priest is coming in for a fear, but I pre-sack it. And I'm able to Searing Glare into a sack, which puts us really far ahead. Unfortunately, it is on top of Colossal Smash. So they're going to actually be able to kill through sack, which sucks. But
now, I'm going to bait a fade. Now he's going to fear me, and so I'm going to sit the full
I bait every fade from the dog shit priest because he has fade on a 10-second cooldown. So you could... Can you imagine if I had an immunity of every CD on a 20-second cooldown? Like the level of brokenness, the level of brain damage. Like the skillless class. It's the most skillless class.
But stack up. I'm gonna have to topping in the air.
I really don't want a full heal here.
Daybreak now.
Because if I use full heal, it's not that deep into dampening, but this dampening will rack up really fast. In the next 30 seconds, it'll be like 40% dampening. So if I use full heal now, I won't be able to live the 30 seconds of my forbearance. So I don't want to use full heal, so I'm glad he used Hellstone there.
Tapping us like an absolute hero. Spamming us, gonna add one more bop. I gotta use it soon. I'm gonna freedom him. Tapping him like an absolute hero.
So it's really good. I got my flash heal off right before the end of my proc, and then I got a judgment off. So I used both my stacks in less than 1 second, which was really good. Which makes it my judgment do 150% more damage reduction. So when I throw my judgment at the target, when I have a proc, it does 150% absorb of their damage. So it'll do like 150k absorb of their damage. So that will take them like 2 or 3 globals to get through. And then I also use my flash heal proc, which makes my flash heal do no mana. So that was a really good flash heal judgment there. Now my goal is to keep him up long enough until he pops Serenity. I know he's going to have Serenity very, very soon at this point. So I want to make sure to only bop when he has Serenity back. So I want him to kite here, port here, so I can then use bop on Serenity.
Before I bop, I have to play it really... He's going to cut me here, I have to pre-bop. No! I tried to pre-bop. I couldn't though. Bop him now. Have to. No choice. I pre-freed him so it doesn't get purged.
So it's a good bop. It sucks. I couldn't wait till Serenity, but I have to bop there. He's 30% health and a Stormbolt. It's good to bop stuns. It's really good to bop stuns at this point in the game. And they're really dead at this point. So, and I still have full heal for the DK. When it does get this late in dampening and you don't have, and you want to use your bop on the main target, just save full heal for the off target that they're not really going on. But it sucks because my DK almost dies here anyways.
He's literally backpedaling, bro. It's insane. No, this guy's going to randomly, the DK's actually going to randomly die. Holy fuck. Dude, it is
big damn.
Full rap here. Too dumb to death. He actually death it again.
He does it twice.
This is a backpedaling, and he's literally backpedaling.
He's backpedaling as we speak, and he death my rep.
Double straight player, though. Big damn.
So we're close to losing there. He still has Gateway. He doesn't use the entire game, and this Gateway is the worst Gateway I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, where is this Gateway to? First off, why is he putting his port right here where the Priest, if the Priest was good at the game, he could stand here and avoid all the dots the entire game, but he's a backpedaling inbred mongrel who literally can't even feed himself, and we still almost lose. All the port lock has to do is port back here. Why do you not have your port back here, and why do you not have your Gateway to, like, he could have his port here and then his Gateway to, like, here. Like, why is his Gateway here? And it's so delusional. Like, it's so bad, and it puts us so far behind because he's literally porting from here to here instead of porting from out here to all the way back here, which would make it so hard for them to connect and make it way easier for me to get searing glares. So disgusting.
But we should have never lost Windwalker DK.
This kid's like the Granny from Courage the Cowardly Dog, who literally has no idea what's going on the entire time. He's just wandering around the equator like a blind wombat, sucking a fucking sperm from the ocean. It's unbelievable, the level of looking. It is cluelessness is highest order.
So now
we're playing TSG, and now TSG with a Pally is really bad. So even though it's a double, now I think melee cleave should always win versus Aflock, pretty much always. But with a Paladin, this TSG is really bad. And into Aflock, Windwalker, we have a good chance of losing. It's actually really hard. Because Windwalker is really good at peeling, and Aflock and Disc Priest have so many ports and grips that it makes it really hard to actually stick on them, but they're all bad players, so it makes it way easier.
TSG.
Because they could easily port and grip and do all kinds of stuff to make it really hard for my Windwalker. For my warrior to connect.
7 different things you have to fake on a Disc Priest. A backpedaling Disc Priest, by the way. Who's the worst player in the entire game.
So, like I said, my goal in life again...
That's so good. No!
My goal in life again is to stay max, do a couple globals. It's great if I can use a couple globals, like holy shocking my team and then getting a big damn judge off before I get my Tireless Deliverance off, because that does put us pretty far ahead. And it's a really annoying. My Gladius is still broken, so it's showing 5 things. But the Maestro still has the most god-tiered awareness. Seeing as the Maestro literally can pinpoint a Sexy Vixen's ass from 300 miles away. But I'm able to, if I'm able to get my Tireless Deliverance off behind a pillar, get all my stuff up before they take insane damage. So getting my Maestro's Deliverance off right now. And the Disc Priest domes literal air again. And the lock actually ports out of the dome. Or gateways out of the dome, but my DK grips him back to the dome. The level of brain damage. For no reason. And that's why I'm like, no, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that, you pea-sized brain peasant?
He gripped him back to the dome, dude. Oh my god. He gripped them back to the dome.
Because that would have put them really far behind by porting under the dome like that. But this priest has so many cooldowns it doesn't matter. So now I'm sacking because I know he wants to incap me. He already used CS on... He CS the DK, I guess. I don't know. This luck is so bad he just CS the DK or the warrior, I guess. So he doesn't have CS. So I can able to free class the flash heal here. And then I'm also going to get a Searing Glare off. And if I can get a Searing Glare off on the Windwalker's opening cooldowns in the Warlock, that puts us so far ahead.
What a fucking moron. He got me on top of the sack. Really good for us. Triple Searing Glare here. This is
so now I'm able to get a triple Searing Glare, which is unbelievably good for us. So the priest is going to have to dispel here if he wants to fear. And now I have a full Hodge coming up for the priest, which is really good.
I'm going to have full Hodge this guy here. Full Hodge. I'll have to trinket that.
So he's going to probably have to trinket, but...
I should have...
No, he gets away with...
Big, should be okay.
He gets away with just using... he gets away with just using wall. Doesn't have to trinket here, which sucks. But I have my blind coming up soon. But he was on Fear DR, so I couldn't blind off that, which sucks. We would have obviously definitely got a trinket if I had a full blind off that. But he's able to still get dots out, even though with his terrible gameplay, because he walled, so he's able to get dots out. And I had to reposition here so that I don't get feared.
I'm a War Mastery for us now. He's coming to fear me now. Max ranging it. I love how a priest can chase me infinitely while...
Isn't it mind-boggling how a priest can infinitely chase you while not healing his team? Because he has so many random CDs that he can do whatever he wants the entire game. Now I'm able to...
There's a little bit of trouble.
I'm able to... if this monk goes on me here and doesn't force any of my cooldowns, that's so good and such a waste of his time. So the monk just wasted a huge amount of his time doing absolutely nothing on me, which is really good. I get a full blind here, but of course he grips the priest in at the same time for absolutely no reason. He doesn't blind them. He doesn't do anything. He just grips the priest for no reason and doesn't even change the Bison. So he just grips my full blind where we would have got the priest trinket here. So we don't get his trinket, which sucks.
Denouncing this guy here.
Terrible DK. So like I said, I think I kicked him here, but we overlapped our kicks there, which is unfortunate. So I did kick the soul route, but we overlapped our kicks there. So he got precog. And because even if you... And he can still fear, because if you kick soul rot, it doesn't lock you out on fear, which is really annoying. So I end up getting feared full by the priest now. I have dots on me, but it probably won't break, because fears never break on the Maestro. It's disgusting, even though I do have dots. And it breaks, but I get re-feared immediately. He AMS's... I'm not even sure what that talent is, but... I'm able to denounce here, but he doesn't have CS for 1 second. But I lose my Daybreak stack, which sucks. I get a full Hodge. We don't have an ACC off it, though. But I do have a triple Searing Glare. Unfortunately, he did get blinded, so I didn't have to fake that. So where I could have got a triple Searing Glare off, I didn't get it, unfortunately. I bubble because I know if I let them... I know if I let these people get pressure, then we can lose the game. So it's better for me to bubble now, get a triple Searing Glare while he has CS, and make it so hard for me to redot him. The Windwalker is doing a lot of damn here, which is annoying. I think he diffused my Searing Glare so he could do extra damn. So the Windwalker's getting a lot of pressure here, but I do have sack still. I have my Tyr's Deliverance coming off soon. We just got to be really careful before my Tyr's Deliverance comes back, because if I get my Tyr's Deliverance off, we're completely fine, since I still have a bop and a sack, and the Lock and the Priest have absolutely no CDs. So right now, before dampening gets high, it's risky to do, but I did full heal him here while dampening is not too high. And then I still have one bop, but he is on forbearance for 30 seconds, so that does put us in a precarious position. So, but the game should be over at this point as long as I just keep him offensive. And the DK is dying through my sack, which sucks. We're in a little bit of trouble. We should 100% win the game here. They have no cooldowns. I full Hodge the priest, and we're able to destroy him here. But it does get a little sketchy here because of the way the damage is and the way H-Pal's healing is. And if I don't have Tyr's Deliverance, we can fall behind really fast at that point in dampening. So, but we weren't really close to losing because I still had Bop and everything. So we were really far ahead there. Now we're fighting. We're Windwalker Warrior. We should definitely win this. Windwalkers and Warriors do insane damn to locks. So we should never lose this. We should just be able to train the lock into the ground. If we have to, we can swap on the DK a little bit on the way. And this should be a free win. Even though I'm really behind on my gear on this pally too. I'm like 10 item level below everybody else, which sucks. And that's like 3,000 intellect, so obviously my goal again is to avoid the dots. He already wasted CS, which is really good for us. I sack him high because if I can keep them defensive the entire game, then we'll automatically win. And the most important thing to do with a Windwalker and a Warrior is keeping them completely offensive. And I actually end up having to bubble on top of my Trinket, which I never would normally have to do, especially when I pre-Aura Mastery. It's actually beyond sickening. I got triple DR stunned and ended up having to bubble. I get a double blind there, which is unbelievably good for us. And now I'm faking CSs, but he's in a stun, so I can get my denounce off. Any denounces off puts them really far behind. Right now I'm just trying to line as much as I can, plus dispel any of his dots, because I'm dispelling the lock dots, and I'm dispelling the DK's dots, which puts us really far ahead. And at this point, we're really far ahead. Even though I did have to Trinket and bubble, we're still far ahead because my teammates have all their CDs. I'm in a little bit of trouble, but I fake his kick again because he tries to pet kick me, and then we instantly win because I'm able to get a full Hodge. It does suck I had to Trinket and bubble overlap. Never should have happened, but he gets a lucky triple DR stun and just enough damage. And he must have crit with every spell because the DK normally would never do that much damage, but he just randomly did unhealable damage in that scenario with no lock dots. Because if I don't have lock dots on me, there's no way I should have to bubble there. And I had no lock dots, and it's so disgusting. When you're playing with a Warlock, you always want to go Barrier of Faith versus a melee cleave because they're going to be mostly going on your Warlock, and you want to be able to get as much absorb and healing on the Warlock as you can because you're going to be behind most of the game, so you want to make sure you can do as much healing as possible. The Lock, of course, always puts his port in the worst spot. He didn't even put his port down here, so that puts us really far behind. And I'm getting my Tyrus Deliverance up in the opener, so I am not able to freedom him immediately, which sucks. I tried to pre-sack that, but it's kind of better that I don't because they're not really going on the lock yet, and they haven't actually done damage. So it's good that I didn't get it off, and he ends up using his port anyways. So it would have been a waste of a sack if I did that. Right now I got to be really careful. Fake the kick, which puts us really far ahead. Like I said, if you end up getting a double searing glare on their CDs, I do get kicked after on the very end of my precog, which is just unlucky. My precog was just falling when I was casting that. And I didn't think the monk would kick me because he's terrible. So unfortunately, I do get kicked there, which puts me a little bit behind, but it's okay at this point. I think he's probably going to wall here, but no, he doesn't. He Hellstones instead, which is fine. It's not the biggest deal. Since I got put a little bit far behind there, I do have to use 2 stacks of my Daybreak back-to-back, which puts me behind on my Wogs, which is annoying. Now I got to bait fade again into a full Hodge on the Priest, which puts them really far behind. I get a full rep here, which is unbelievable. I don't know. I should have went for the rep first. But he melds it. That's the only mistake I ever made. But I go for my heal first into a rep, but my Hodge ends 0.1 second before. Now I get an insane double searing glare. Any other Pally obviously would have bopped here. But since I'm the best Pally in the game, I know if I double searing glare, then I won't have to bop. And bopping right here is really bad. If I have to bop the Warrior right here, it's unbelievably bad for us because they have no cooldowns popped. And so I double searing glare so he can't touch of death. And that puts it so I can Daybreak into healing him into saving Bop, which is unbelievably good for us. So I'm able to save Bop, and that means I can Bop when I actually need to Bop. And he fears him there, but unfortunately I'm going to get feared here, but I can Trinket the fear, so it's not the biggest deal. And he doesn't even go for the fear, and he's still running after me. He forgot he had fear. So he's going to Hodge him again now, and if I get a full rep, all I have to do is rep here. We 100% win the game, and then I can try to Bop my Warlock. Unfortunately, I couldn't Bop my Warlock for 1 second because he's on forbearance. But that was a perfect game for me besides repping the Priest right there. But it just sucks that Hodge is such a short stun that he's actually able to get out of my thing before I can rep. Because Pallies have no haste. It's disgusting. So I pretty much played that game perfectly the entire game, besides for that one moment. Now, TSG with a Priest is way better, so this will be hard for us. But with a Monk, he can slow the DPS a lot. We can kite a lot. So if this is a good Warlock, he can kite them a lot while the Monk slows them. So we'll see what he can do. Obviously, Barrier of Faith and Rep, I think, is a little bit better. It depends if your Priest is good. If your Lock is good and gets a lot of fears for you to rep off of. But if not, and he's going to Stormbolt me here, or he's going to fear me here, but I was too far to sack that. But it's okay because he has Port in the opener, so it's really a complete waste of fear. Right now, when you have a second to get your cooldown off, your Hand of Divinity off, it's better to do that now because then you won't have time to do it now. He walls on top of my sack, which isn't good, and I'm saving my next Hand of Divinity heal for after his Sharpen, and I use it now I'm going to wall here, and then I'm going to try to get to the priest so I can Hodge. Or this is, like I said, TSG is really hard for us. I end up having to bop him here. We overlap, unfortunately, with Incap. But I really should have just baited death there because he probably would have death there. Right now I'm trying to extend my Tower's Deliverance while repositioning. And he's going to get a Fear here. You'd think it would break since every pet's attacking me, but the pets end up stop attacking me randomly, which is so unlucky. But if I'm able to get denounces off on these melee DPS, it will severely limit their DPS. And I'm able to get 2 denounces off there, which makes it so it's really hard for them to do damage if they can't crit. He's going to Stormbolt me here. I bubble it instantly because I know if I keep us offensive here, we're going to win the game. And if I'm able to not have to bop him here, it's unbelievably good. And I want to use full heal. So I'm probably going to full heal him here, probably. I'm probably going to full heal him here. We'll see. Yeah, full heal him there. Sack him on top of it. It's really risky to full heal in this situation, but we do have a drain life, which is really good for us. I bait out the Fade again, which is really good. And now, as long as I get the Hodge, we win the game, and we win the game right before that. So absolutely destroy them the entire game, outplay them in every scenario, bait out every Fade, bait out every single cooldown. Positioning is perfect, cooldown usage is perfect. Right there at the end there, it is risky to full heal because we're kind of dying through it. But if the lock has any cooldowns himself, like if he has a dark EP or a drain life or something to mitigate the damage a little bit while we live through my forbearance, then it's completely fine. But if they are a really bad player and they don't have anything like that, it can completely F you and ruin your life and lose you the game. So it's really important that like you try to figure that out. Like you have to figure out what dampening it is. You have to figure out all that stuff because if you end up using full heal, you won't live the forbearance. So it's just annoying. It's annoying that forbearance even exists in the game, especially when Pally is already so bad. But anyways, yeah, if you like that video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, seeing as the Maestro is living in poverty, eating stale raisins in the corny air, the shit out of a granny's diaper. And the Maestro will never give up. And make sure to follow me on kick.com/Crusader34551 for the most profound legendary streams written in the stars itself.